Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back at here with another fantasy football video. In today's video, I got you guys the Week 16 wide receiver start or sit decision. Now, I go through every single matchup from the games on Saturday all the way until Monday night, I should say, and tell you whether you should start or sit the wide receivers in those matchups. Obviously, this week there is no Thursday night football. Now, before I get in the video, I'd like to give you guys a word from my friends and my sponsor over at OverlayDFS.com. OverlayDFS.com is my favorite way to play daily fantasy sports. Now, obviously, you guys are fantasy football guys. You love the NFL, but Overlay DFS also offers NBA games. I've been getting more recently into NBA for when the NFL season ends, and my sorrows of playing fantasy football are there. I love fantasy basketball as well on OverlayDFS.com, but we're going to talk about football here because this is a fantasy football channel. Now, there is a couple of game modes you can play on this website, but my favorite game is the progressive game. This week, the main progressive game is $22 entry, and the top 10% win 9 times your buy-in, which is $180. But if you hit the beautiful 12-0, you can win over $11,000, and it's going to continue to rise all the way until kickoff. It could be well over that by the time Sunday begins. So let's go into it, and let me show you guys how this works. It is very simple. You make 12 picks plus 3 alternate picks in case any injuries type or something like that has to happen, where that some games get voided. Now, right here, it's very, very simple. It is just one player versus another. Who scores more fantasy points? Anyone could do it. Even someone like me can. It's pretty easy. Drew Brees versus Ryan Tannehill. Dak Prescott versus Carson Wentz. Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold. Who scores many or more fantasy points? And there are many, many more options. So make sure you guys check out OverlayDFS.com. Link down below in the description. And we are back. Please make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com. A link down below in the description. Let's get right into the video. Week 16. Wide receiver start or sit decisions. Now, the first game here is the Saturday first game, the 12 o'clock game. Texans at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, obviously, big rest in peace to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Thank you guys for making us get to this fantasy football championship. But now you are out, and we have canceled you guys out. And our new friend is Brashad Perriman. Brashad Perriman is going to shove his cock down the Texans' throat. Brashad Perriman is going to have a humongous game this week up against the Houston Texans. I could see a top 25 performance in the crystal ball for Brashad Perriman. On the other side of the ball, obviously for the Texans, we have DeAndre Hopkins. D-Hop is a must-start every single week. This is a very juicy matchup for him. The Buccaneers defense is quite good against the run, but against the pass, they're very so-so, and I think that DeAndre Hopkins can have a potential big game in a game that I believe will be super-duper high scoring. Now, Will Fuller's obviously, if he plays in this game, you have to start him. When Will Fuller is healthy, you know he could just go out there and ball out for the team. So when he plays, you got to go ahead and lock and load him into your lineup. I believe he has potential to be a top 30 guy, which obviously categorizes him as a start. But I do worry sometimes because Will Fuller's either a dud or a straight-up stud for your lineup, especially since he can get hurt in the middle of the game just lacing up his cleats before the game even starts. I'm going to be sitting down Justin Watson in this game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Next game here, we got the next Saturday game, and that is the Bills at the New England Patriots. That should be the 3-4 o'clock game. Now, obviously, I wouldn't be starting up Julian Edelman in this game. Now, I know last week you might be like, Nick, you fucking asshole. Julian Edelman last week fucked me over. He put up a goose egg pretty much for my team. He's fucking terrible. Tom Brady is terrible. The Patriots stink. Fuck you, Nick, you asshole. And I know, I'm mad too. I started Julian Edelman. He put a stinker in my lineup. But you know what? You better believe that he is going to see so many targets in this game that is going to be unreal. They have to beat the Buffalo Bills in this game. The Buffalo Bills could fuck around and take this division if they so happen to lose to the Bills, and then they lose again, and then, you know, the Bills are on top. But I do like Julian Edelman in this game, though. I really believe he could be a top 10 wide receiver. He just sees so much volume on for the team. He just did not perform that well last week, but one bad week is not going to just change my complete mind about one of the best slot wide receivers in the NFL in Julian Edelman, a guy that I believe could put up a big game this week, even up against a tougher Buffalo Bills defense. I'm going to be sitting down John Brown and Cole Beasley in this game. This is a no-play spot for me up against the New England Patriots. I don't believe either of these guys are super duper talented where it would be worth it. Obviously, John Brown put up an okay game up against the Steelers defense. That was pretty good, but now he's facing one of the better defenses in the NFL, and I do worry a bit that John Brown may get a bit shut down. But obviously, if you want to throw him in there, there is always that chance that John Brown catches the ball from Mr. Joshy Allen for like a 60-yard blast down the field that ends up winning you your week. So obviously, if you're feeling a bit dangerous, go ahead and start John Brown, but Cole Beasley to me is also a no-go up against this Patriots defense. Now to the final game from Saturday, Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to be starting up Robert Woods in this game. Now, I know Robert Woods had a down week after having 2 explosive weeks in a row. This week, he gets the 49ers, but I do think that the best coverage is going to go onto Mr. Cooper Kupp, so I believe Robert Woods could flourish in this game. Jared Goff and the Rams just looked so shit last week up against the Dallas Cowboys. I believe they could have a bounce-back game this week to the 49ers, who just lost to the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, that's right, folks. The Atlanta Falcons, a fucking god-awful team. I believe Robert Woods has a good game as well as Cooper Kupp. Obviously, even if Cooper Kupp draws that great coverage, I think he just sees enough volume from Jared Goff to be a guy that you want to start in your lineup. I'm also going to be starting up Emmanuel Sanders. Him and Debo did not have the hottest game last week for the 49ers. The Atlanta Falcons just ended up beating them, and it was just a fucking shit show of a game for the 49ers offense. But I do think Emmanuel Sanders has a bounce-back game, but I'm a bit worried about Debo Samuels, so I'm going to let him ride the pine this week up against the Rams. We could be potentially drawing Jalen Ramsey, but so could Emmanuel Sanders, but I think they'll be switching back and forth because these wide receivers are so talented and both equally skilled. Now to the Sunday slate. The first game here is the Steelers at the New York Jets. And at the wide receiver position, this game is an absolute wash. Deontay Johnson, sit. James Washington, sit. If Juju Smith-Schuster magically wants to play and wants to lose to the Jets, he can go ahead and play too. Robbie Anderson, sit him the fuck down. Sit everyone the fuck down in this game. Sit Juju. Sit Robbie Anderson. Shit Jameson Crowder. Fuck it. Shit him out. He's not going to do anything. Sit everyone in this game. The running backs, you're going to want to start in this game. Just a bit of a spoiler alert for the running back video. Make sure to click that subscribe button so you can get that running back video. But the Steelers are just... And the Jets, they're just wide receiver core is just fucking awful. I don't really think you can put any of these guys in your lineup when you're trying to win that fantasy football championship. Next game here, we got the Saints at the Tennessee Titans. And I'm going to be starting up Michael Thomas in this game. Obviously, you close your fucking eyes. You just fucking throw Mr. Michael Thomas in your lineup, and he's good for like 30 points at this point. He's just a goddamn legend. He's balling out of control. And up against the Tennessee Titans, I see no reason why he can't do the same thing just like he did last week on Monday night. Now, I'm going to be starting up A.J. Brown as well. A.J. Brown has just been on fire the last couple of weeks. 3, 4, 5 games in a row of complete dominance. I think this week up against the New Orleans Saints, they're not facing up against Jacoby Brissett. They're playing up against Ryan Tannehill, a man with a mission. I believe that A.J. Brown is going to be seeing so many targets in this game. They're going to Salt Bay his ass with targets. I believe A.J. Brown puts up a big game as well in this game. I'm going to be sitting down the worst wide receiver in the NFL, Corey Davis, and you're going to be sitting down Ted Ginn as well because Ted Ginn, he's pretty much just a dice roll. You throw him in there, you pray to the fantasy gods, you say, please, fantasy Lord, let Drew Brees throw a bomb to Ted Ginn and let him score. But if that doesn't happen, you're going to end up really pissed off. And the odds of that happening are pretty slim to none. Next game here, we got the Panthers at the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to be starting up DJ Moore in this game. Now, I'm a bit worried, a bit scared, because Will Grier is going to be getting the start for the Carolina Panthers. We have never once seen Will Grier play in an NFL game, and I'm a bit worried about that. But DJ Moore is obviously the best wide receiver on the team besides Christian McCaffrey. So I believe that DJ Moore will be seeing a lot of targets in this game up against the Colts defense that couldn't stop me. Like, if I was on the fucking Saints, you could have put me on there, and I might have scored Drew Brees' whatever touchdown that was to beat Peyton Manning. I could have fucking done that. So DJ Moore is going to put up a good game regardless of the quarterback situation. I'm going to be sitting down Curtis Samuel because I just don't trust him. T.Y. Hilton is fucking garbage. He's just hurt. You can't trust him. And Zach Pascal, I just don't trust any of these Colts wideouts, especially with how bad Jacoby has looked recently. Next game here, we got the Bengals at the Dolphins. An absolute toilet bowl game here. Potentially a game that the Bengals accidentally fuck around and win and screw up the fact that they could get Joe Burrow with the first pick. I'm going to be starting up Devontae Parker in this game. Obviously, Devontae Parker has been absolutely dominant the last couple of games now. He's had 2 games that were so-so the last couple of weeks, but I believe he will have a huge bounce-back game up against the trash-ass Cincinnati Bengals. And I also think that Tyler Boyd has a big game this week. Obviously, last week, up against the New England Patriots, who were spying on him the week before. They were fucking looking. They recorded that video. You all saw it. Fuck you, Patriots, for being such cheating fuckers. I think Tyler Boyd has a big game this week up against a Dolphins defense that is not all that hot. I'm going to be sitting down John Ross, the Sauce Boss, as well as Allen Hurns. Next game here, we got the Ravens at the Browns, a game that is going to be certifiably boring as fuck. You're going to just watch Lamar Jackson bend the Browns over and repeatedly smack that ass until RG3 eventually comes in the third quarter, and Baker Mayfield is on the ground crying, and OBJ is on the other sideline for the Ravens. Come get me, bro. Come get me. Come get me. Come get me. That's what he's going to be fucking saying. Same with Jarvis Landry, because these guys are a bunch of sorry motherfuckers who want to get away from the Browns after they have one bad season. Imagine that. Imagine Odell being a crybaby, a baby back bitch. Fuck you, Odell Beckham Jr. You're going to be riding the pine in fantasy football this week. Go ahead and kick a net and go cry on the sideline, because I don't give a fuck about you, Odell Beckham. All right, you have fooled me one too many times. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again. Some shit like that. That's what someone said. And Odell Beckham is going to sit on the pine. I've never even drafted Odell Beckham Jr. in fantasy football, but that dude has fucked me over so many times on DFS. Screw you, Odell Beckham. I don't even know how you may be in this game if you started Odell last week. He just completely fucked you over, and this is a terrible matchup for him. Sit him down. Hollywood Brown is a complete and utter dice roll. Some games he absolutely balls out when Lamar Jackson hits him with 2 touchdowns. Some games he just completely shits the bed, so I would be a bit worried about him. The only Ravens offensive players are like Lamar Jackson, Mock Andrews, and Mark Ingram. Even though Lamar Jackson is so talented, Hollywood Brown just on a weekly basis is not a guy that you can really rely on. Jarvis Landry, on the other hand, obviously did not have that great of a game last week, and an easy spot against the Arizona Cardinals, but I do trust him way more than Odell Beckham Jr. Next game here, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to be starting up Julio Jones in this game. Obviously, you have to throw Julio Jones into this game. Julio Jones has been balling out when he's healthy. He's been playing quite well. Now, obviously, he's not the Julio from a couple of years ago, the Julio that is just catching touchdowns and all that shit, but he has been playing pretty well, and in fantasy, it is impossible to sit a guy with this much talent up against a defense that really isn't that good, so I like Julio Jones this week. He has the potential to be the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy this week, and I'm going to be sitting down D.D. Westbrook and Chris Connolly. Obviously, if I had to choose one to play, I'm gonna go with Connolly. He was the hot hand, but if Baby Shark Baby Shark is back in the lineup, I would be a bit worried about any of these guys in fantasy football, even up against the Atlanta Falcons defense that is fucking not that good, unless you're the San Francisco 49ers, because you're one of the best teams in the league, but you can't beat the fucking Falcons, you fucking idiot. Alright, sorry guys, that was a bit of a whisper show there. Hopefully you heard me there, but we are going to get into the next game here, and it is the Giants at the Redskins in Washington. Now I'm going to be starting up Terry McLaurin in this game, even though this fucking O-line on the Redskins is terrible. The quarterback, Dwayne Hashcans, the trash can, is terrible. The wide receiver core is terrible. Terry McLaurin just somehow magically just ends up in the end zone or just ends up catching the ball a bunch of times. So fuck it. Up against this terrible New York Giants defense, I am firing up Terry McLaurin in my championship game. I am going to risk it for the biscuit to win it all. And Darius Slayton, on the other hand, has just been balling out the last couple of games. Even if Eli Manning is the quarterback in this game, I would go ahead and fire Darius Slayton up, whether it's Daniel Jones or Eli Manning. I was sitting down Sterling Shepard. He's obviously a pretty safe option, but I don't really trust him. And Golden Tate has just went in the fucking dumpster. I don't know where he's been the last couple of games. He really hasn't done anything aside from that really sick catch he made last week. Next game here, we got the Lions at the Broncos. And I'm going to be starting up Courtland Sutton in this matchup. Obviously with not Brandon Allen, I should say, with Mr. Horsecock Drew Lock. Courtland Sutton has been looking quite good. Even with Brandon Allen, he was looking good. And I really believe he could have a big game this week up against a not-so-hot Lions defense. Now, I'm going to be starting Kenny Golladay, but he's got the next to his name because I'm a bit worried about Kenny Golladay now. Nick, why are you worried about Kenny Golladay? He's such a good talent. He's so good. This, that, the other thing. The team it's just so unreliable. I'm not sure if if he catches the ball, he could just score a touchdown. He could get you 20 fucking points in this game, and I wouldn't be surprised. But with the way that the offense has looked, I'm just not sure. I want to fire up Kenny Golladay in this game, but he's definitely a start for me because of the opportunity that he has. I'm going to be sitting down Danny Amendola in this game. Next game here, we got the Oakland Raiders at the LA Superchargers. Now, I'm going to be starting up Keenan Allen in this game. Keenan Allen has actually been low-key pretty good the last couple of games, and this week against the Oakland Raiders, a team that is fucking atrocious. I think Keenan Allen could have a big game this week, even with Phillip Rivers, Mr. 12 Kids, not looking so hot. I'm going to be sitting down Mike Williams in this game. Obviously, he has the opportunity to play well, but I don't trust Mr. 12 Kids enough to throw the ball to more than Keenan Allen, so I'm not really going to want to start him this week. I'm going to be sitting down Tyrell Williams as well. He really has just been If he scores a touchdown, you're happy. If he doesn't, you're pissed off. And I just really can't trust Derek Carr, especially after they lost that game. They were up by so much against Gardner Minshew last week. Next game here, we got the Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks. And there are a lot of guys in this game that I actually like to start this week. Tyler Lockett, obviously. I know you're going to might be saying, Nick, you fucking idiot. You told me to bench Tyler Lockett last week. He actually played pretty well. You goddamn idiot. And you know what, guys? What I say to that is Tyler Lockett had a bunch of shit games in a row. I couldn't trust him. This week he gets the Arizona Cardinals. He put up a good game last week. This week he's playing up against a trash-ass defense. I believe that Tyler Lockett could have a humongous game this week up against the Arizona Cardinals, a potential top 5 start. Now I'm also going to be starting up DK Metcalf in this game. DK Metcalf has been pretty good as a flex type of option, a guy that has the potential to score that touchdown, a guy that Russell Wilson loves to throw the ball to. So I think he's definitely a start-worthy guy this week. Christian Kirk, Mr. Kyler Murray, loves throwing the ball to this guy. I trust Christian Kirk. He's really the only one I trust on the Arizona wide receiver core. I'm going to be sitting down Larry Fitzgerald from Arizona, and we're also going to be sitting down Flash, Savior of the Universe, Gordon, because sadly, Flash Gordon has been caught again with the weed or whatever, or maybe some PEDs. You know, I feel bad for the guy, honestly. I want to see him return. I think this may be the end of Flash Gordon, though. Obviously, I'm not going to get super deep into it, but I hope Flash Gordon, if you do see this video, obviously you're fucking watching this video. This video is great. Make sure to click that subscribe button down below, Flash Gordon. Thank you for watching, but I really do hope you get help. Obviously, you are one of my favorite wide receivers to watch, so it's a shame that this keeps happening to my man, Flash Gordon. Next game here, we got the Cowboys at the Eagles. I'm going to be starting up Amari Cooper in this game. This Eagles defense is really not that good. They let the Redskins almost win last week. They almost did. They almost let the Redskins fuck around and win. Amari Cooper is obviously a guy that is going to be seeing some big plays in this game. He played well last week up against the Rams. Actually, really didn't. The fucking Cowboys balled out of control, and Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup didn't do shit. But in this game up against the Gals, I believe that Amari Cooper could have a big game as well as Michael Gallup. Now, I'm going to be sitting down Greg Ward in this game. Obviously, he had a big game last week, and if you're in a really deep league, you can go ahead and fire him up. I do think he's a bit risky, obviously, with the fact that there are so many no-name receivers on this team, and Greg Ward is really the only option, but that does still scare me a bit. Obviously, not the greatest of talent, so I do not really trust him to win my fantasy football championship, but if you're in a super deep league, go ahead and roll the dice and throw Greg Ward out there. Next game on the slate here, we got the Chiefs at the Bears. Now, I'm going to be starting up Tyreek the Freak Hill in this game. Obviously, that's fucking obvious to you. You just close your eyes, you throw Tyreek in there just like he's Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, D-Hop, those guys with the big talent. I know that this is a tougher type of matchup for Tyreek Hill, but I still think even up against a Bears defense that really isn't that great this year, I think Tyreek Hill could have a humongous game this week. I'm going to be starting up Allen Robinson, even though he disappointed last week. The Chiefs defense really isn't all that good, and I think Allen Robinson is in a good bounce-back spot on this week. He pretty much would have had a touchdown had that guy pitched the ball his way. He would have walked straight into the end zone, but that fucking idiot just held onto the ball and made the Bears lose to the Green Bay Packers last week. Anthony Miller has been red hot fire. Mr. Kissin Titties Trubisky loves to feed the ball to Anthony Miller, so I think you continue to ride in the flame, and you start Anthony Miller this week. I'm going to be sitting down Sammy Watkins and all those other Chiefs wide receivers. You really cannot trust anyone except for Tyreek the Freak Hill and Travis Kelce as receiving options on the Kansas City Chiefs. Next game here, we got the Packers at the Vikings. Now, obviously, this is a game that the Vikings need to win. I believe Adam Thielen is going to see a lot more snaps in this game, and that's why I got him as a start. Obviously, the last couple of weeks, he has been out. Last week, he played kind of a decoy. I told you guys to sit him. He was shit. So, this week, I think that he's going to have a much better game. Stephon Diggs also, I think, has a good game. Devontae Adams, on the other hand, is also 100% a start. You always throw him into your lineup. He had a great game last week. I see no reason why he can't do the same thing this week up against the Purple People Eaters. Stephon Diggs has been playing okay. I think when Adam Thielen is back, he obviously takes a bit of a down in points, but he obviously gets a lot more opportunities since people are keying in more on Adam Thielen, and it's not just all the defenders crowding around Stephon Diggs. Now, I'm going to be sitting down Allen Lazard, Geronimo Allison, and any of those other sorry-ass Green Bay Packers wide receivers. Now, that was the final game. Actually, that is the Monday night special. I'm sorry I didn't know that because I'm a bit dumb. That was the Monday Night Football game. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you ended up enjoying, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. You know I love each and every single one of you guys. Check out overlaydfs.com, link down below in the description. I'll see you guys later with yet another video. Goodbye, my friends.